Hey guys, it's Alyse. Today I want to talk about what I would have done differently with van life. And first of all, I feel it's really important to say that right now I am sitting outside of the townhouse that I've been living in for the past maybe week or two, and the van is behind me, behind these bushes here, and the radiator broke about 2 days ago. And those of you who have been following me closely and watching all of my videos, you know that Addison has been still sleeping in the van. He's not living here at the apartment with me. We do spend so much time together still. We spend like almost every day together, and yeah, so we're not living together, but we still spend time together, whatever. He's living in the van and it broke, right? So the radiator broke and he's been trying to fix it. We bought a new radiator. He decided to do it on his own instead of us bringing it to a shop. So yeah, I think today's day 2 without the van up and running. So I just felt like that was important to share in this video, because if I was still living in the van, I don't know where we would be, because we wouldn't be parked here, because I wouldn't be living here. So where would I be? I don't know where I would be. I would probably end up contacting my boss, Antoinette, who owns Ipono, because I stayed at her house for about a week before I transitioned into this place, and she let me do like a little work trade there. But realistically, if for some reason I couldn't stay there, if her driveway was full, I don't know where I would be. So anyway, let's jump right into this video, what I would have done differently. So I wrote down a little list just so I could stay on track more and talk about everything that I really feel I would do differently. So the first thing is that I would have purchased a van that was newer and in a little bit better condition. So the van is a GMC Safari and it's a 1999, and it was in pretty good condition when I got it, so I thought, but I didn't have a very reliable mechanic at the time because I was super new to the island and I just didn't know many people. So I kind of just had a random mechanic check it out for me prior to me buying it, and he said everything was great and running, and it seemed to be for a while, but then one thing started to happen after another. The next thing is that I would have renovated the inside of it to the point that it was similar to a home. So I would have wanted to have a cooler inside of it, or some sort of refrigerator to keep fruits and vegetables cold, because throughout the duration of the time I was living in the van, I felt like my health really started to decline, and I feel like a big part of that was that I wasn't having as much fresh fruits and vegetables. So that was a huge thing. I totally would have ripped out the carpet as well, because there was a carpet in there when I first got it. I would have ripped that out and put in fresh flooring and maybe even built a bed frame in there. And those are some of the little things that I would have changed. So I would have had a cooler or a refrigerator, and I would have ripped up the carpet, and I also would have made sure that there was no mold prior to me moving into it. So I bought this van on the wet side of the island, which is called Pahoa, and there's a lot of moisture over there. It's not dry like this side of the island at all, and there's a lot of mold on that side of the island just because there's really not like enough airflow, and there's not enough dry days to dry up the mold because it's just so moist in that area. So I would have been a little bit more knowledgeable about that and wouldn't have rushed into it so fast. I would have really given it a full checkup before I bought it. The next thing is that I would have made sure, like in the future, if I do this again, I'll be sure that I have a larger savings account before jumping into a project this big. So I really didn't have much money. I like just barely had enough to get the van, and I was super excited and I really wanted to do it, and I let my spontaneous nature get the best of me and I just jumped into it and bought the van. But I didn't really have as much money as I should have or could have to put in the time and effort and the material that I really should have in order to make it more livable. And the last thing is that I would have bought the van, making sure that it had everything working properly. So the 2 front doors did not open from the outside when I bought the van, and they actually still don't open from the outside, and the side door does not work at all. And when I first got it, actually the back door was pretty jammed too. So basically you can go in through the back and crawl through, and then you can open the 2 front doors from the inside. But what we do is we just leave the windows rolled down a little bit so that we can reach our hand in and open it from the inside. So that's just one more thing that adds to the list, and none of these are really huge things when you think about them alone, and I think that's why I rushed into it and bought it, because I felt like they were just small things. It wasn't a big deal that I had to reach my hand in and open the door. But when you add all of the things together, like having mold in the van and having to crawl through or reach your hand in the door to unlock it from the inside, and when you have a fairly dirty carpet in there, and when you don't have storage or like a cooling option for fruits and vegetables, and you're kind of in a place where you have to be eating a lot of cooked food and saltier food and oilier food, that's just not going to make you feel as well. At least me personally, coming off of a completely raw vegan diet, I didn't feel as well. There's not good airflow in there either. There's just the 2 front windows. There's no side windows at all, which is really great for privacy, but it's not great for your lungs and your respiratory system because there's just not good airflow. So those are some of the things I would have done differently. Definitely having a bigger savings account before going into a project like this is key. I mean, yeah, it worked for 10 or 11 weeks or so for me, but it wasn't sustainable. It definitely fulfilled my desire to live in a van. I had some really incredible adventures in there with my friend Monica before Addison got to the island, and then my friend Devin joined me. But all in all, it wasn't as wonderful as I thought it would be, and I didn't have a reliable mechanic to get everything fixed. I didn't have the funds to get everything fixed to the best quality, and that's kind of it. So those are the things that I would have done differently, and I just want to say that I do totally think I will live in a van in the future, but I'll do it totally differently. I will really create a homey spot in there, and I will have everything in there that I need to live a vibrant lifestyle. I'll have cutting boards, I'll have a blender, I'll have an inverter that I can hook the blender up to, I'll have better airflow, maybe some fans going in there, I'll have a little bed built up. Yeah, it'll be a really sweet spot. So I definitely think I'll do that in the future at some point in my life, but kind of how it went in van life. And I also just want to say really quickly that I was hesitant to stop living in the van at first because I had like built up this image of that's who I was. I was living in a van, and I had fulfilled that goal and desire of mine to live in the van. So I was kind of hesitant at first to give in, but after I realized, you know, I was getting sick 1 week after another, and then I got the flu, and I just felt really crappy, and I knew that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it to like push through and struggle and feel sick and maintain some image if I wasn't really enjoying my time there or feeling great. So since I've moved into this place, I'm feeling so much better. I'm sure you guys can even tell from the qualities of my videos. I just wasn't vibrant. I wasn't happy. I wasn't feeling good a few weeks back. So everything's going good. Eating more fruits and vegetables, got nice airflow, I'm sitting outside a lot of the time, and everything's going well. So I just wanted to give you guys this update. I'm sure you guys have been wondering a little more of the details, so here they are. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and share it with your friends and family who might possibly want to be a nomad in the future and live mobile in a van. These tips could probably help them out. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.